Money okane. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones, Confucius. It almost goes without saying that money is a major source of anxiety for a lot of people, especially in current times when wages are stagnating in most places and not growing in line with inflation or the costs of goods and services. Even if you are earning a decent wage or are lucky enough to get help from your family or partner, it can still be a struggle to budget for everything that you need on a day-to-day basis. That's before you even get to saving up for things in the future, whether that's a deposit on a flat or house of your own, a car, or going on holiday every so often. I have touched on ideas for ways to change careers in the previous chapter, and there are some ideas for side hustles on page 153, but in this chapter we are going to concentrate on spending and saving habits. Lots of people say that they struggle to change their spending habits. It's easy to think every so often, oh, well, I'm just not going to spend any money this week. But that is an impossible aim, because unless you go and live off-grid, in a hut in the wilderness somewhere, you need to spend money to be able to survive on a daily basis. There might be some people who can go cold turkey and really deprive themselves of anything but essential items, but I am definitely not one of them, and nor are most of the people in my life. One of the reasons it can be so hard to change our spending habits is because they are deeply cemented into our daily routine, and the action of spending money also has an emotional aspect to it. I am one of those people who goes shopping, either online or in the real world, when I'm feeling bored, stressed, or unhappy about something. I also shop when I'm happy and feeling celebratory, and I have a tendency to go overboard and beyond my means. I have never got into serious debt, but there are lots of ways that I know I could be better, and I'm trying to transform my attitude towards money. If you are in debt and find it impossible to not be in your overdraft at the end of each month or to save any money whatsoever, then it can seem like an insurmountable task to actually make a difference to your situation. This is where starting very small and not trying to change everything at once can be very effective. I think it's useful to see this section not only as a resource for ways in which you can alter bad spending habits, but also for ways in which you can reframe money in a more positive light, as something you can have control over by creating good saving habits. As with all of the other sections in this book, the first stage of the process is going to be about taking a step back, analyzing your current habits and thinking about your goals. We will then go on to look at ideas for small alterations you can make in order to change bad spending habits. Everybody's situation will be different, but I hope that there will be at least one small, relevant change that you can make which will spur you on to make other changes. The final part will then take a more positive attitude towards your finances and discuss ideas for ways you can start to save money. And, obviously, the two concepts are interlinked. If you change your bad spending habits, then you are more likely to be able to save more money. Why am I so bad with money? The first thing to do is to stop beating yourself up, whatever your situation. Life can be shit sometimes, and spending money on treats or ways to make life easier and more convenient when you're working hard and are tired is what everybody does. And you should still do this occasionally. This section isn't about depriving yourself of any fun whatsoever, but rather it is about altering your mindset so that you are more mindful of where your money is going, what your triggers are for spending, and thinking of ways that you can transform your habits for the better. It's not about stopping spending altogether. How to track your spending. Start by breaking your spending down into essential and non-essential items. There are some debit card apps which do this job for you and categorize everything that you spend on the card, and there are other apps available where you can log your spending yourself. But this probably won't take into account the money you are spending on rent, mortgage, bills, insurance, and other essential items. Depending on whether you are a spreadsheet or paper person, go with what works best for you. You can either go through the previous month's spending or track your spending as it goes along over the next month. If you are already doing a bullet journal, see page 56, then add a money tracking section to your monthly pages or dedicate a whole separate journal to it. Or, if you prefer to track your spending electronically, then set up a spreadsheet. In order to make sure you remember to fill this in, try to tack it on to one of your other habits. For example, each Friday morning fill it in when you have your morning coffee. You don't have to go into minutiae, but it helps to have a record of your bills and non-essential spending. Kakeibo, the Japanese method of saving money. Kah-keh-boh, Kah-keh-boh, translates as household financial ledger, and was a method invented in 1904 by a Japanese woman called Hani Motoko, notable for being Japan's first female journalist. It is essentially a journaling method, which she invented to help Japanese women at the time keep on top of their finances, something which she thought was essential for general happiness. Similar to how a bullet journal works, the idea is to keep a ledger of everything that is incoming and outgoing. Motoko emphasized the importance of physically writing it down as a way to mindfully process what you have to spend each month. She encouraged having a check-in with the ledger every day to analyze how your spending is progressing, and also taking stock at the end of each month to help you decide which goals to concentrate on in the following month. Essential spending. Once you have this information in front of you, take a step back and really analyze your spending by category. Think about essential spending first, the items you need to survive. Housing costs, rent or mortgage. Utilities, gas and or electric, phone and internet bills, insurance. Transport, petrol, travel card, insurance, tax, any repairs. Student loan or other debt repayment. Groceries, childcare costs. Pet costs, food, vet bills, insurance, doggy daycare. Medical costs, prescriptions, essential toiletries. Most of these costs will be unavoidable unless you give away your dog or child, but do have a think if there is a way that you can reduce any of them. Change supplier. Most utility companies rely on the fact that most people are too lazy to change to a competitor, but it can save lots of money. There are now companies you can give your utility details to, and they do the hard work of finding you a new, lower-cost contract. Make your home more energy efficient. Lots of governments are now subsidizing various ways to make homes greener and more efficient, whether that is adding solar panels to your roof, adding insulation to attic spaces or walls, or smaller initiatives like water-saving showers and LED light bulbs. Think of a few ways that you could make your home more efficient and bring down bills, whether that is turning the heating down a few degrees, and wearing an extra layer or making sure that you don't leave your phone charger plugged in all day because you're too lazy to unplug it. If you are tracking your bills, you will quickly see what a big difference these very small changes will make to your energy consumption, and therefore the cost. Negotiate a new phone internet contract. Make sure you note down when it is a month before your current contract runs out, as this is the time when companies are desperate to retain you as a customer, and you can negotiate good deals. Research if any competitors are offering a better deal than the one you are currently on and ask your current supplier to match it. If they won't, then leave. If you like your handset and don't need an upgrade, then SIM-only contracts are far cheaper. Shop smart and mindfully. Everybody would love to have the time and money to waltz into their local delicatessen every few days and stock up on delicious artisan produce, but most people are frazzled after work and walking like zombies around their local supermarket, desperately trying to cobble together a meal. Supermarkets are famously designed to trick us into spending more money. They have the cheap fruit and veg items near the entrance to encourage us to spend more later, and they put pricier products on the right-hand side of the aisles, as this is the side that we tend to look at first. An easy way to save time and money is to plan your meals properly. Take a shopping list with you and do one big shop a week. There are also online tools you can use that store your shopping list and then tell you which supermarket will offer you the best deals that week. Culture and entertainment. And now it is time to move on to the harder to analyze and more emotional side of your spending, the entertainment and non-essential items. First, break down the cultural items, holidays and any entertainment or activities that you have spent money on this month, including books, newspapers, magazines, entertainment subscriptions, TV, film, sport, music, streaming services, tickets, sport, theatre, cinema, comedy, art shows, gigs, experiences, gym membership, exercise classes, holidays or weekends away, accommodation, flights, trains, spending money, birthday parties, weddings, hen stag do's, haircuts and beauty appointments. Have a think about these purchases and the motivation behind your decision to spend money on them. Questions to ask yourself might be: were they worthwhile? Did they provide an opportunity for you to have fun with your partner, friends, family? Can you afford them, or did you overspend? Are there any ways you could have cut costs? You will probably find that for most of the items on this list you will have felt a sense of satisfaction from buying them, because they offered you a fun experience with your loved ones, they were culturally enriching, or they helped you to relax. You should budget some fun money into your spending plan, otherwise you might abandon your spending goals. The Kaizen approach to spending is about being mindful of what you are spending and making the right choices to ensure that you live within your means. If you do feel like you are spending too much money, have a think about whether there is any way you can reduce your outgoings. Talk to your friends. I have often spent money that I didn't have on various hen-dos and weddings when I could have just gone for less time or done it in a cheaper way. If you are worried about spending money on a big event, then have a quiet word with your friend and see if there is a way you can do it more cheaply. They will definitely understand, and if they don't, then they probably aren't worth being friends with. Change or cancel your entertainment package. Do you really need subscriptions to 2 different film streaming services and your monthly unlimited film cinema ticket? Are you paying for a service that you don't use? Think about your usage. If you are paying for a gym membership or for every individual yoga class, be honest about whether you are getting value for money. Could you buy classes in bulk and save money? DIY, getting a regular massage or nail appointment can be a very enjoyable luxury. But if you can't afford it, then have a think about alternatives. Can you get your friend to do your nails? Or can you wax your legs yourself? It might not be quite the same as being in a professional salon, but you will save oodles of money. Non-essentials. Think about the other non-essential items, the things you probably buy on impulse and might not necessarily need, such as clothes and shoes, accessories, homeware, flowers and plants, makeup, meals out, takeaways, coffee, snacks. Lots of these things might not necessarily be entirely frivolous purchases. If it's cold, then you need a winter coat, or if you are feeling really glum, then some flowers are a fairly inexpensive way to cheer yourself up. This isn't meant to be encouraging you to cut all joy out of your life, but we turn to these kinds of things when in need of a quick spending fix. While you are tracking your spending, try asking yourself the following questions when considering purchasing one of these items. Do I need this? Will it be useful, and does it make me feel excited? Is there an obvious home for it where I live? Being truly honest with myself, how do I feel about buying it? Happy, excited, indifferent? If it's an item of clothing, or shoes or accessories, can I think of at least 3 existing items in my wardrobe with which I could wear this? What is my emotional state in general today? Am I stressed, celebratory, feeling bad about myself, calm? From analyzing your responses to the questions above, you can start to identify any emotional triggers to your spending. It's a good idea to explore if there are any environmental triggers too. For example, if you made a purchase, then ask yourself the following questions. Was I killing time? Did I buy the item because I read about it or received a marketing email about it? Was I intending to spend money on this item before I went to the shops or opened the link in my browser? Think about how you feel about having spent the money. Do I feel happy with my purchase? Do I regret it? Was I in a frenzy when I bought it? Will I find the purchase useful? Am I focusing on quantity over quality? And am I spending in the most ethical, sustainable, and environmentally friendly way? A lot of these purchases will be justified and essential, but below are ideas for small ways in which you can modify your behavior to ensure you spend more mindfully. Leave the item for 24 hours. This highlights whether you genuinely want or need it. If you are still thinking about the item the next day and can afford it, then make the purchase. I promise you will feel a greater sense of satisfaction about the decision. Watch out for sales. I always go a bit crazy when I see a sale sign, but it often means that I end up spending money on items that I don't really need or use. For each item that you have in your basket during a sale, ask yourself whether you would buy it if it were full price. Check your bank balance regularly. I used to be one of those people who would cross their fingers that a purchase would go through when it got to the last week of the month. I never had any idea how much money I had and buried my head in the sand until I could brave looking at my balance once I got paid. Checking your balance helps to lower your anxiety levels because you feel more in control, and it really brings into focus how much money you have to spend. I make a habit of checking my banking app when I first get to my desk in the morning. It's a scary habit to try at first, but does wonders for worry levels. Spend in cash. Physically handing over cash rather than just mindlessly tapping your card makes you more conscious of what you are spending, and you will find it easier to budget. First Kaizen step. Try taking out a set amount of cash to use for the week and only spending what you have. Notice if it feels different to spend in this way. Put reminders in your wallet. My friend attached a sticker to her credit card which bluntly said, "Do you need this? Really?" And it meant that she always had a prompt whenever she was about to spend money. Anything which encourages you to pause and take a breath before making a purchase is going to be beneficial. First Kaizen step. Attach a note to your wallet for a week and see if it breaks the automaticity of reaching for your card and buying something. Change the environments that cause you to spend. If you notice that you often spend money after clicking on emails from different brands or seeing pictures of influencers wearing a brand on Instagram, then unfollow or unsubscribe. Or if you buy clothes or makeup when you have time to kill, try using this time to do another activity instead, such as having a walk in the park. Be thrifty. Are you an avid reader who doesn't belong to a library? Do you mend your clothes when they have holes in them or leave them at the back of your wardrobe? Do you sew buttons back on? Do you freeze food, such as bread, herbs and veggies that you won't have a chance to eat before their sell-by date? Keep reminders of payment deadlines. I have a friend who has had her car impounded three times because she forgot to renew her car tax. Don't be like her. If you are using a journal, then make sure to write down payment deadlines for your credit card, your bills and annoying yearly payments that are easy to forget, like car tax. Everybody will occasionally want to treat themselves. This is fine and to be encouraged. This exercise is more about cutting out those purchases that might give you a temporary boost, but that you either forget about 5 minutes later or don't use. It's about encouraging you to pause and take a breath before making a decision to spend money on something that you don't need. Nobody is perfect and you probably won't remember to do this every time, but even being slightly more mindful of the way that you are spending your money will make a huge difference. And hopefully, the small changes and savings you make will start to have a cumulative effect on your bank balance and help you to save money for a rainy day. How can I save more money? The acts of mindfully spending and saving are very much interlinked, as you will find that the more you spend wisely, the more money you have left over to save. But there are also proactive ideas to save more. Have a separate savings account. It sounds hugely obvious, but if the money is in your current account, then you will feel more inclined to spend it. Open a savings account and transfer an amount into it at the beginning of the month so that you know that you can't touch it. Or if you have money left before payday, however small an amount, transfer it over to the savings account. Savings accounts pay interest too, so your efforts to open another account will pay off. Use savings apps. There are now several mobile apps that will do the saving for you automatically. They analyze the amount you are spending each week, then transfer over a balance that it thinks you can afford to a savings account, or it will round up whatever you are spending to the nearest pound, euro, dollar, then transfer over the rest. You barely notice that you are saving because the amounts are so small, but they soon build up and you can usually transfer the money back right away if you need to. Have a coin jar. This may sound a bit old school, but most people will have some loose change hanging around their house. If you keep it to one side and save it up, you can then take it along to the bank to be paid directly into your account. Lots of supermarkets also have machines that will count it for you and pay you the amount in larger denominations for the price of a small commission. First Kaizen step. Get into the habit of emptying all of the coins in your purse or wallet into a jar at the end of the week and watch it build up. Have reminders of what you are saving for. It is good to remind yourself of whatever goal it is that you are saving towards to keep up your motivation. Why not have a picture of the holiday destination you want to go to as your computer background? Let a friend or partner hold you accountable for your spending and saving. If you involve another person in your spending and saving goals, then you are far more likely to want to stick to them. Being transparent with somebody else encourages you to be transparent with yourself.